Hello students, this is the last part of Lifeline of National Economy. In this part, we are going to study about the airways, which is the most expensive, the fastest means of transport. Air transport is not at all common for the common people in actually because of some reasons it is not common for the common people. Nowadays it is very easy, but earlier it was very not common for the common people. The air transport was nationalized in 1953. It was nationalized in 1953. On the operational side, Indian Airlines, Alliance Air, subsidiary of Indian Airlines, private schedule of airlines and non-schedule operates provide domestic air services. Actually, this is a fastest means of transportation. It is the fastest means of transportation up to now. Most comfortable and prestigious mode of transport. It is called prestigious means it's very costly. That is why it is called prestigious mode of transportation. It can cover even the terrain like high mountain, long oceans, stretches, denses of forest, or even those northern eastern states, deserts like Sahara. That is why it is called not common for the common people, but in northeastern places, states, it is the provision for or are made for the external the services to the common people also. As we know, the other transport like railways and roadways would not be successful in these areas compared to the airways. As you know that it is very hard to make a transport system of roadways or land, waterways in these areas, but it is very much easy to transportation of by the airways. Air transport was nationalized in 1953 and government maintained the airways, but gradually it is now privatized. Gradually, it is earlier it was publicly owned, but nowadays this is privatized more. Pawan Hans helicopter. Private Limited provides helicopter services to Oil and Natural Gas Commission in its offshore operations to inaccessible areas and different terrains like the northeastern states and the interior part of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttaranchal. Indian Airlines operation also extends to the neighboring countries of South and Southeast and Middle East. So in books, many map plotting is given for the airways. Most important airways are Amritsar, that is Rajhans, Rajashansi, then Delhi Indira Gandhi International Airport, and here Kolkata Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Haldia, then Paradip, Vishakhapatnam, and Meenakshi Beckham. All these are the Rajiv Gandhi in Hyderabad, Chhatrapati Shivaji in Mumbai, then Trivandrum in Trivandrum. These are the airports in India. The next one is we were talking about all this time about the transportation, which helps the trade to continue in India. It helps the transportation help to continue or to develop the trade in India. But if or not only the transport help in the trade of this development of trade, this communication is also very important for the trade or development of the trade in India. What is this communication? It is there since human appeared on the earth, but the pace of change has been rapid in mid modern times now only. Na? Actually, it is not the now just started to communicate to each other. It was earlier when human being appeared on the earth. From the starting time we had on anyhow Earlier they were talking or giving their messages through signs, but now they are able to talk to each other, they have a language and communicate to each other. And now the modern times, it's this communication had a rapid changes. These are having a lot of communication. There are a lot of communication. First of all, let's talk about the personal communication. Personal communication and mass communication, including television, radio, press, films, etc., are the major means of communication in the country. First we will talk about the personal communication, that is mobile, letters, and the closed, they are very closed. No, personal communication means only two or three persons know about this, and that they are closed. And mass communication, they are open to everyone, all the people can watch or see or the communicate to all people all together. Indian Postal Network is the largest network in the world. In the world, Indian Postal Network is the largest network. Postal network, nowadays we don't have to, we are not able to see all these. Even now postal network are working in India, like population, because why? Because of the vast population, vast area, and ancient tradition. These are called the Indian Postal Network is the largest network in India. Indian Postal Network is the largest postal in the world. It handles parcels as well as personal writing communication. Cards and envelopes are considered first class mail, are air lifted between stations covering both and land and air. The second class mail includes book packets, registers, newspapers, and periodicals. They are carried by surface mail covering land and water transport. To facilitate quick delivery of mails in large towns and cities, six mail channels have been introduced recently. They are called Rajdhani channels, metro channels, green channels, business channels, bulk mail channels, and periodical channels. The next one we are going to talk about the telephone. Telephone. India as one of the largest telephone network in Asia. In order, why? Because of the population. In order to straighten the flow of information from the grassroots to the higher level of the government has made special provision to extend 24-hour STD facility to every village in the country. There is a uniform rate of STD facilities all over India. It has been made possible by integrating the development of space technology with communication technology. Now, next talking about the mass communication. Communication is a large mass at one time is called mass communication. Entertainment creates awareness among people about various national programs and policies. It includes radio, television, newspapers, magazines, books, and films. All India Radio Akashvani broadcasts a variety of programs in national, regional, and local languages for various categories of people spread over parts of the country. As you know that in radios, this Akashvani channels, most of the Indian governmental orders or some communication to the village peoples are done by the Akashvani only. Doordarshan, the national television channel in India, is one of the largest terrestrial network in the world. It broadcasts a variety of programs from entertainment to educational to sports, even for the agricultural development. All these are done by the Doordarshan. Newspaper. Next we will talk about the newspaper. Newspaper is one of the largest mass communication. India publishes a large number of newspapers and periodicals annually. They are of different types of depending upon their periodicity. Newspapers are published in about 100 languages, are published in and dialects. Largest number of newspapers are published in the country are Hindi, followed by English and Urdu. Three languages are main, but in other languages also the newspapers are published locally, and even in the states they are published, and they have the freedom whatever they feel to express their feelings, they can write, and in the newspaper they have a lot of freedom in the newspaper and convey their feelings to the mass. The next one is we are going to talk about the one thing is left, that is telecom sector. STD means subscriber trunk dialing. Two and a half third of village are covered by it. 24 hours STD facility at every village. We talk about this. Next, we are talking about the international trade. What is trade? Trade means the exchange of goods and services. Trade means the exchange of goods and services is called trade. What is international trade? The exchange of goods and services among people, states, and countries is referred as a trade. When such trade takes place between two countries is called the international trade. Then how can a company is considered as an international company? When exchange of their commodities are more than in one country, they are called the international companies. Trade between two countries is called international trade. It may take place through sea, air, or land routes. Advancement of international trade of a country is an index to its economic prosperity. It is therefore considered the economic barometer for a country. Then what is this export and what is this import? When the goods are sent to the other country for sale, it is called export. From one country to another country, when we sell to the other country, that is called export. When we buy the goods from other countries to our country, they are called the imports. So these transport facilitate trade. This transport is facilitate air or sea or land. These transport system facilitate the transport. Advancement of international trade of a country as an index to its economic prosperity. International trade is considered as the economic barometer for a country. What is the need of international trade? Because international, why do we need, why don't we everything we can make, and we can sell all the things to the to our people, and they will sell their things to us, and it will be easy. What is the need of selling to the other country, okay, or buying from the other countries? Resources are space bound, because some of the resources are space bound, they have less resources. The next one is no country can survive without international trade. Why? Two components of international trades are export and import, because these depends on the balance of a trade. Balance of trade, the difference between export and import. The difference between export and import is called a balance of trade, that balance of payment. This is the difference between export and import of a country. When export is higher than import, then this is a situation of favorable balance of payment. Export is more than the import, then that is called the favorable balance of payment. On the other hand, when the import is higher than the export, that is called unfavorable balance of payment. Like, let me give you one example. When we export 200 rupees to other country, when we export something to other country, we are getting 200 rupees from them by exporting, and we import one thing from them, and that cost 150 rupees. Then also we have 50 rupees more than the import. That means our balance is left. That is why this is called the favorable condition. Unfavorable in that the import is more and export is less. That time is called unfavorable import. Here, Indian commodities witnesses growth in the share in export, and here major imports to India. Some of the things which we import, that is petroleum and petroleum products, pearls and precious stones, inorganic chemicals, coke, machineries, all these things. And what are the things we export? That is agriculture and allied products, ores and minerals, gems and jewelries, chemical and allied products, engineering goods, petroleum goods. So you can see that export percentage is more than the import percentage in our India nowadays. Bulk import as a group registered a growth accounting for 39.09% of the total imports. This group includes fertilizers and edible oils and newsprints. The international trade has undergone a sea change in the last 15 years. Now, international trade has gone a sea change, means a lot of changes last 15 years. Exchange of commodities and goods have been superseded by the exchange of information and knowledge. India has emerged a software giant at the international level nowadays. It is called as a software giant. India is considering it is earning large foreign exchange through the export of information technology. It's a good thing for us. Next, we will talk about the tourism as a trade. So, not only sending the exporting the goods or importing the goods, they are called the trades. Even the tourism means when we go foreign countries and we travel, we go and see the seasides and all that. Those that is also comes under the trade. How it is possible? What is the trade between these? Let's see. Foreign tourist arrivals in the country witnessed an increase of 23.5% during the year 2004 as against the 2003. Thus, contribution of 21,828 crore of foreign exchange comes our country. Over 2.6 million foreign tourists visit India every year. More than 15 million people are directly engaged in the tourism industry. Tourism also promotes national integration, provides support to local handicrafts also. They comes to our India, foreigners comes to our India and they see that a lot of handicrafts are portrayed in front of them, and they see the cultural pursuits, all these, they buy all these things and they go to their countries and show them that this is the from India. So incredible things they are doing. It is also helpful in the development of international understanding about our culture and heritage also. Thank you very much, students.